Erica. How are you? 215.
Oh,
Yay.
215 in the house. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Oh my gosh, I feel like we grew up together. Naturally, we still look like we're 19.
That's right. I'm sure we did. Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's a
Girls
pleasure to
high,
meet you
girls high.
all day. I love your character because she does remind me of like editors
Mm,
where you just are like it's all about what you
blunt.
need. It's not like,
Yes.
just the way, and I love how she read because I've worked for some editors who were like when people quit, like, really? You left
Yes.
me? Not like, oh, good luck, best wishes. It's like, really?
That's so
And
ungrateful.
I just
Yes.
like to
Because
see
they're running on a deadline. You understand that. And they
exactly,
got things
right?
to do. Yes.
I also love, like, I think one of the things that I have always been about in my career as I cover shows is to have this thing. Stop giving us these Black women that have to be perfect. Give us Black women that are
Absolutely.
cranky, that are
Absolutely.
selfish, because we're that
Yes.
too. We're not always saving. So how much fun is it to play someone that is just lacks self-awareness? She's just all about her.
Lucky I had a lot of practice with Max. She's very similar to that. Unsentimental. They don't pull their punches, and they really do not care if you get hurt, but they're fair. You know what I mean? And they're saying that some of that is on you to deal with, not to always assuage you and and oh, you okay? And pull, They're like, look, I got to get this done. Let's get it done. So no, I love it. Those are the best characters.
But she does give, even though she's very direct, you know what I mean? And some people may be turned off by it, but someone like me prefers it because at least I
Me
know where
too.
I stand with you. But she
Yes,
does give good game. Like she gives Bresha's character, she's like, listen, I don't want no more of your business cards, but I'm put you on game. You do
that's
something
right.
with it, and then stop coming for me and asking, because that's something we as Black women, I feel like we have to get better at. Doesn't matter if
Yes.
we like each other, it's just for the sake of progress. Hey, girl, yeah, you work my nerve, but let me give you this little bit piece of work. How important do you feel
Absolutely.
that is?
That's very important because what you're talking about is not feeling that you always have to make everything all right or feel like you have to be responsible for everyone's feelings, especially if you've been fair and you're consistent. You're not being mean, you're just being direct, and you're not there to be their, lack of a better word, mammy, that they need to grow up and be in that space and be responsible. But I do think that having that scene more inside of characters on TV is important because so much of what we do is have to be the comforter, have to be the help, have to pull, have to make sure that people are okay with we're not angry, I'm not being, we're not allowed to be those things. And I said, nothing should stop us now from being full human beings.
100%. It's also an exciting time. When you were younger, we had your show, we had the other show, and now we can turn on the television. It's not just like we only get this one thing, we get this variation. And this show is giving us these complex women with nuance and they don't have it all figured out. And they say, like, you know what? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes, I don't
How
know is a
awesome
good
is
thing.
that
No
though?
clue.
Because yeah, talk about that, because again, for the longest time we were told there could only be one or it could
Yep.
only be in this shape. And we've
Yep.
known for the longest time, because just in our group friends, like, we're not monolithic. How exciting is that you've been in the business long enough to where it's now like, oh, we're gonna have these shows, you're in this show and you get to
Yes.
play whatever you want to play.
Well, we've had great new examples of it in life, in real life. Look at Stacey Abrams down there in Georgia, kicking butt and taking names. You got Ayanna Presley, and there she is, having gone ball, being so beautiful and bold and not apologizing and trying to look a certain way. We have all sorts of real world examples like Michelle Obama, who's now talking and telling her story. So we've seen it in real life and we know it to be true, but it has been shielded from us because if they said that, and meaning if that was promoted, who knows what kind of new world that would say, was okay. But people want the stereotypical version because it makes them feel good. They don't want to have to go beyond their borders. But it's not because Black women haven't pioneered and been beyond that long ago.
And you know what else is, I think we, especially those of us that work in this field, for your character is a Black woman editor. It breaks my heart to say it, is still like that. You know, it's still not common, or she reaches a certain channel. What are some things that you have learned playing this character? Because it is, you are fighting two types of battles, obviously making sure that the outlet that you're representing is competitive in this credit media market, and at the same time you know that your ceiling at certain places is only so high. So what have you learned from her that you've kind of like applied to yourself?
Well, she's a boss. She's a lady boss. She owns her, I don't know how she owns it, but she runs that media company, and she runs it well. She's got an office, and she's calling the shots, and a lot of the responsibility falls on her shoulder. I got a little taste of that with Living Single. Latifah was there with Flavor Unit magazine. She was doing that with her cousin Sinclair, and then also I just did a piece with Elizabeth Moss called Shining Girls, where I was the editor of a big Times paper. And I was so happy to be running things that people had to come in and ask me, and I'd say, no, you do that, you do this, because people need to see that, and we need to see that. But more importantly, they need to be instructed and informed by it so they know how to repeat it.
I think the other thing too is, you know, a lot of people may see her as being very like rough, but I also feel like a part of her is, this is her way of saying is, I want to prepare you for the world we're in. And if I, you know, sugarcoat things and hold your hand, you're going to get crushed. So there is a method to her madness. You know what I mean? I know, like, at first you're like, girl, like, it's a lot. But I feel like in her mind, I'm like watching the show. I'm thinking like, that's how she is seeing the movie in her head. Let me help this girl get some act right, because she's going to get crushed by the world. And I feel like that's a little bit that. Is that how you see her too sometimes?
Yes. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. You can warn somebody of something and they can still go on and do what they want to do. But often you don't have the time or the space to for the fantasy. You know, you just want to lay it to them straight and keep it moving. There's no reindeer games here. Let's go. And I think there's a lot of, especially Black women, who live in that space all the time. And we've seen them. Like I said, they're out there doing their thing. You see Maxine Waters, that's how she rolls. You know what I mean? What? She answers like, huh? And you know, we were in church with those mothers who, and I'm talking about the mothers of the church, who are just like, no, go get this, go get that. But it's kind of gruff in a way that I thought was a little unyielding, and didn't show the beauty of so much love that these same women gave us. They might have been very deliberate and direct, but they always, I thought, delivered it with love. So I think that that's what needs to be tempered in there. The design of that is in hopes to stop you from damaging yourself.
Absolutely. Well, Erika, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is definitely on my bucket list. And I feel like, thank you so much for always being there for us and seeing us. And you know what? And I love the fact that you don't play safe. And that, I think, is just as important, you know, as anything else. And best of luck and much love to you.
And my same to you too, and love to Philly. I love my Philly people. Philly, let's do it.
Thank you so much.